Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a word you probably use, well, every single day, black.
Mm,
On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Just a basic color term, the absence of light.
correct. Simple.
But dig a little deeper, and for centuries, this one word has carried these incredible layers of meaning. We're talking skin color, mourning, secrecy.
And tragically also the profound silence imposed on enslaved Africans. That's a huge part of its history.
Exactly, and that's where it gets really fascinating and kind of complex. We want to go beyond just the surface meaning today.
Yeah, we're asking a pretty big question here. Could this seemingly simple word, black, actually reveal a hidden story? Maybe something about the very origins of language itself.
That's the mission for this deep dive. We'll be looking at it through sort of two main lenses. First,
Interesting.
the conventional view, modern linguistics, etymology, how words evolve over time, the standard stuff.
The established path, yeah.
And then we're going to introduce you to something different, the Odam Tili Theory. Now, this is more of a, let's say, speculative, symbolic interpretation, not mainstream linguistics.
Definitely alternative. It suggests that every letter, every sound holds a kind of coded connection
To what exactly?
to humanity's earliest ways of making meaning,
Yeah,
often through like primal gestures, hand signs.
interesting. So our goal, as always, is to pull out those surprising facts, those nuggets of knowledge from both perspectives, so you walk away feeling, well, really well-informed on this.
Sounds good. So where do we start? Maybe at the beginning, the dawn of human communication.
Yeah, let's do that. Most modern linguists agree on this part, right? That early humans communicated using hand signs, gestures, long before complex spoken language developed.
Absolutely. You could call it a primal finger language. Very basic stuff, pointing, waving, maybe miming for ideas like food or danger or come here.
Simple but effective, like humanity's first grammar, in a way.
Totally. But, and this is a huge, but there's a critical limitation that most people don't really think about.
Which is?
Gestures rely completely on visibility. You need light to see them.
So they're useless in the dark?
Exactly. Useless. So imagine what happened when night fell.
They couldn't talk.
Pretty much. When darkness covered everything, early humans were essentially silenced. Their main way of communicating, their hands, just stopped working.
Wow. So they had to just sit quietly.
Yeah.
Or figure something else out.
Right. It forced them either to be silent or, crucially, to invent totally new ways to communicate, using sounds, maybe grunts, whispers, anything that worked in the dark. It was a profound evolutionary pressure point for language.
That really puts things in perspective. Okay, so how does the Odam Tili theory then connect that idea, the shift from gesture to sound in the dark, to the word black?
It's absolutely central to its interpretation. From the Odam Tili viewpoint, the blackness of night wasn't just about, not being able to see.
It was more symbolic.
Yes. It symbolized the exact moment when gesture language, what Odam Tili sees as its pure, visible hand form, lost all its power.
So in that symbolic reading, black wasn't just a color.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It fundamentally meant speechlessness by necessity. It represented that silent, dark night where the speaking hand effectively goes quiet.
Okay, let's pivot to the more standard etymology then. Trace the word's actual roots.
Right. So black comes from Old English black, B-L-A-E-C, which meant simply black or dark.
Okay, standard enough.
And that goes further back to Proto-Germanic blackhaz, which meant something like burnt or darkened by fire.
Burnt. Okay, that makes sense. Fire darkens things.
But here's where it gets really interesting. If you dig even deeper, you get to the Proto-Indo-European root, which is bleg.
And what did that mean?
Surprisingly. To burn, yes, but also to shine or to gleam.
Wait, shine, gleam. That seems like the complete opposite of black.
It does, doesn't it? It's a fascinating paradox. Fire, the source of light and shining, is also the thing that produces blackened stuff like soot or charred wood.
So the same ancient root could lead to light and dark.
Precisely. And it's not just us looking back and seeing that. Old English actually had another word from the exact same root, black, but spelled with a long A, B-L-A-C.
And that meant?
Pale, shining, bright.
Wow, so they consciously connected them.
It really shows how ancient people saw that connection.
Yeah.
Fire gives light, but fire also burns things black. The same source, two opposite results, encoded right there in the language family.
That's genuinely fascinating. Okay, shifting gears slightly, but related to sound. what about the modern phrase, blah, blah, blah?
Ah, yeah, that filler phrase for, like, meaningless chatter.
Linguists usually just say that's onomatopoeia, right? Like the sound of talking, no real link to black.
It's the standard linguistic take,
Yeah.
yes. Just the sound of lips flapping, basically. No historical connection.
But Odam Tili sees it differently.
Oh, very differently. It takes, well, a symbolic leap. If you accept blah as represents speaking, even empty speaking, then Odam Tili suggests that the final K sound in black isn't random. It's symbolically significant.
How so?
It acts like a primal stop, a cutoff, a sound that physically blocks the flow. It transforms the idea of speaking, blah, into not speaking black, like hitting a mute button linguistically.
A stop sound, turning speech into silence. That's kind of a chilling idea.
It is, especially when you consider the historical context.
You mean connecting this ancient symbolic link, darkness, silence, the word black, to, well, a much later tragic reality?
Exactly. The way European colonizers used the word black to label people from Africa purely based on skin color.
And what followed that labeling?
Precisely. The brutal systems of colonial slavery, where these people, labeled black, were systematically, violently denied their voices.
Forbidden to learn, to read, to write, to speak freely.
It's an undeniable, heartbreaking historical fact. They were forced into silence, both literally and legally.
So, from the Odam Tili perspective, does it see that enforced silence as echoing this older symbolic meaning, like a tragic fulfillment?
It absolutely does. Odam Tili suggests that these ancient symbolic connections, they aren't just found in dusty old texts, they resonate through history as archetypal patterns.
So, the silence of the dark night, the gesture language being lost.
And the forced silence imposed upon enslaved people. Odam Tili sees them all as reflecting this deep theme. Blackness in this symbolic interpretation becomes the actual barrier to free speech. The word itself, viewed this way, carries the immense weight of that enforced silence.
Okay, let's really break down the Odam Tili symbolic reading step by step. They start with black, the Old English root.
Right, B-L-A-C. And they conceptually link its sound, its essence, to blah, our modern slang for speech or expression. So the root idea is speaking.
Okay, speaking or expressing.
And then within the Odam Tili symbolic system, which is its own unique thing, remember letters like C and sometimes H are seen as symbols for fingers, hands, gestures, an open hand, a curved hand.
Representing the act of gesturing.
Yeah. So black can be read symbolically as the speaking hand, the primal form of communication, the gesture, Odam Tili itself in its original form.
Got it. The speaking hand. And then comes the K.
Then comes the K. And as we touched on, that K sound is interpreted as adding a negative. It's a hard stop, a cutoff. It closes the word phonetically and symbolically.
It breaks the gesture.
Exactly. It silences the hand. So black, the speaking hand, transforms into black, which symbolically means speech with a block, speech that is stopped. The K is the silencer.
Wow. So the ultimate symbolic meaning Odam Tili pulls out is black means do not speak.
Essentially, yes. Just as the physical darkness of night made finger language impossible, rendering the night black or speechless, the word itself carries that code. Do not speak.
And the horrific historical parallel
Is that enslaved Africans, labeled black, were systematically forced into silence. So that label black, tragically, symbolically, came to mean you are not free to speak.
It's important to clarify here, though. Linguistically, the word just meant dark, and colonizers used it descriptively for skin color.
Absolutely. That's the straightforward historical linguistic path.
But the Odam Tili interpretation, this symbolic reading of the K, turning black speech into black silence, it's a kind of poetic or mythic layer.
It is. It's an interpretation that, while not based on conventional etymology, resonates deeply with the lived historical reality of black people being silenced under slavery.
So the symbolic message it finds is that black isn't just a color identifier in that context, but signifies the condition of being silenced.
Exactly. Connecting the people labeled black to that historical reality of being treated as property, denied basic human rights, including, crucially, the right to speak freely.
So wrapping this up, we've seen two paths. There's the standard etymological view, black relating to darkness, things being burnt, straightforward history. But then there's this Odam Tili theory suggesting a much deeper hidden layer, a whole different story embedded in the word.
Yeah, that Odam Tili narrative is quite a journey, isn't it? Gesture first, then night stops the gestures, darkness comes to equal silence, and the word black somehow carries the memory of that lost speech.
And then the gut-wrenching part, how that symbolic meaning seemed to tragically mirror the forced silence under oppression centuries later.
It's a powerful, if unconventional, reading of linguistic symbolism and history intertwined.
So here's something maybe for you, our listener, to think about. If black isn't just a color, if it can also be read, at least symbolically, as this profound reminder of silenced voices, of lost freedom,
What does that tell us?
what does it reveal about maybe the fragility of our own voices, but also, conversely, the incredible enduring power that language itself holds?
Yeah. Maybe consider how words, even the most basic color terms we use without thinking, can carry these complex layers. History, symbolism, and sometimes a really potent message about freedom, silence, and expression.